Buruboya and Burubosheshe from Baba Ilegwa's channel. This is your host Iwori Ogunda from New Mexico. Just calling make a video and say hello and how's everybody out there. If you notice, I got my collar de Ogbeyono. Somebody was asking me about this, and pretty much what a collar de Ogbeyono is it the signal Ogbeyono is an Odun in Ifa, and that's when the collar was born in. That's where I've said this many times in my videos that if you can't back it up in the Oduns, then I mean it should be questioned, because everything should be backed up by the Oduns. And the collar de Ogbeyono has all the Orishas. It has Yemaya, it has Orula, it has Eshu, it has Nanabuku, Yemaya, Ochun, Obatala, Babaluaye, Chango. It has all the major Orishas. And it has a skeleton at the bottom of it. And Babalaos wear them because it's a symbolization of power. And you see Babalaos with these hats. And as a Babalao, you have to be trained, and it's a lot of work, and it's more than people think. Palo Mayombe is actually a lot easier than Ifa, because in Palo you get to just, get your rayamento, study your stuff, and it's easier. I studied Palo, I know. I've studied Palo for many years, but unfortunately I wasn't able to become a palero because it wasn't in my cards. But today what I want to talk to you guys today about is Fulasos. This is gunpowder. You can buy this at your local store, firearms store. It's not 100% gunpowder because they don't sell it, but it does the job. That's gunpowder. And these are firmas. This is a firma of Osign and how to work with Osign. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a basic instruction. I'm not going to set off a Fulaso because I set one off yesterday because I was having some problems. And as soon as I set the Fulaso off, it got taken care of. And there's a lot of things that you have to understand about setting a Fulaso off. How do you do it? What don't you do? What must you do in order for it to be efficient, etc., etc. For starters, in my ile, we have a water. We have a cup of water, a big cup of water filled with honey, and we put it in front of the Osign, and we let that in front of the Osign after we do the blood offering. And then that way Osign knows to come back to the honey water to where he knows where his home is. But you would draw the patipembes and you would draw the fulasos. The fulaso is the gunpowder. That is what sends the charge of the energy out. And there's actually a good book written by a man named Carlos Montenegro, who has actually went as far as taking some of this stuff into a science, and seeing how long it takes for the energy to travel, etc., etc. So you might want to check out that book one day. I don't remember the name, but if you're that sincere about getting it, you can email me and I'll let you know. So anyways, what the Fulaso is, that's the worst case scenario. When something's going completely wrong for you and you have no other way of fixing it, you use the Fulaso. You could use Fulasos with Ogun, with Abita, with Olokun, with Orun, with Osign Fundamento, but you can't do Fulasos with just any Orisha like Obatala, Chango, Yemaya, Ochun. These things that I am telling you now are very, 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 very fundamental. Like Osign fundamental is just like an Nganga. In Nigeria, in Arile, we have to get scratched into the secretos of Osign, So it's a very big commitment. It's not something you just, I want to be initiated into Osign. But another thing too, you don't have to be a Babalao to receive Osign. anybody can receive a sign. So just to let you know. So like I was saying, so what you do is after you study your patipembes, your firmas, what patipembes, how do you use those patipembes, how do I learn how to manipulate these patipembes, and in order for the patipembe to be efficient, you're always going to want to have some kind of offering, whether it's 2 gallos, whether it's 1 gallo. In really, really bad cases, you might need a cuatro pata, a chivo, or it does something in that matter. It got to a point one time where a voodoo priest was trying to bang out my padrino, and we gave Abita 1 cuatro pata. The next day, that voodoo priest was in a wheelchair. Never was he able to walk again. And it's not something to brag about, but it's serious. And that's why I'm putting in so much emphasis on it, because it's not a joke. You don't do things like this to people for, oh, he didn't write me back, or oh, he didn't like me. This is serious. This is high magic, and it shouldn't be played with. So I'm going to make video number 2 now on the firmas.